Hey everyone, Melissa here. In this video, I'm going to make these cute little beaded rings. Now they may look familiar to you because I've made a couple videos in the past, but those videos didn't get much traction, so I am redoing it because you guys need to learn how to make these. They're so cute. I made a gold fill, a sterling silver, and a copper one. Cover all price points here because I feel they're fancy enough to use gold fill. So if you want to see how I made these, just stick around and I'll show you how. Alright, so let's get started. This is my third time doing this ring, just because I didn't think it got a lot of traction the first two times around. I mean, I really like this ring. I make it a lot. I make it all the time. People love them, and I think more people need to know about this design, so I'm gonna do it again. And hopefully more people will see it. I'm really counting on you guys to like and comment and all that jazz, just so the YouTubes will send this video out to more people. I don't know, it just didn't take off the first couple times, so let's do this again. I'll show you 3 different types that I make. Gold fill. I use 20 gauge round wire for all these, dead soft. So I get this from Rio Grande. It is 1420 gold filled. And I don't know if you've ever worked with gold filled, but it is really soft and supple. It's really nice to work with. For each ring, you're gonna need a 6mm center bead. Today I just grabbed a bunch of Swarovski pearls. They make really nice rings too. This one here, I'm going to make a copper one with a hematite or a black onyx, probably hematite. But for each ring, you're going to need, like I said, a 6mm round focal bead. On each side of that, you're going to need 4mm rounds, and I usually use just metal beads. Here is my gold fill. Sterling silver from Rio Grande, and I also started making copper too, and I got these copper beads from ballchain.com. I think for each ring you're going to need 2 4mm beads and also 4 2mm beads. I put them in another bag, so I don't know where I got them from. Probably Rio Grande or Fire Mountain, who knows. But here's my 2mm round gold fill. Here's my 2mm rounds sterling silver. And I got these from artbeads.com. You can hardly see that, but I know I got them from there. They had good prices on them at the time. My 2mm round copper beads are in this tray. So let's start off with gold fill. You're going to need a ring mandrel, and typically a ring takes about 10 to 11 inches, more if they're bigger rings. Let's go ahead and cut off 11 inches. Like that, that looks good. Pick your color bead. I think, oh, what is that color? It's like a kind of like a teal color. Tahitian, I think, maybe? Anyway, let's use that color. So you feed on your focal bead, get it right in the center. Next, you need your 4mm beads on either side. What I've done also in the past, I've used 4mm crystal bicones on either side of the bead to add some color if needed. Like I've made patriotic ones. They turned out really cute. I can show you those at the end. But yeah, get those on either side of your focal bead. Decide what size ring you want. Maybe I'll make a size 9. Wow, my mandrel is really looking beat up. Right over your chosen size, you're gonna wrap it all the way around. Bring your wires up towards you. Keep your beads snug next to each other. Bring these side wires up and around the focal bead. So they're going to be pointing in different directions. At this point, you can take it off the mandrel but you're going to have to hold everything in place. And make sure you have 4 2mm beads available. And you're going to go ahead and feed that on one of your wires here. You're going to bring that down close to the other beads. Make sure it stays on top, and you're going to feed your wire through the center. And kind of snug that up like you're doing a binding. Make sure your bead stays in place. Bring your wire back up again, and you're going to feed on another bead. Make sure it stays on top and feed that wire through the ring again. This time, snug it up. Pull tightly on it, not too tightly to misshapen things, but kind of wrap it snugly. Make sure your little beads stay on top, and you're going to bring this wire up around the other side of your 4mm bead. And before I tie that off, I'm going to do the other side. Same thing. Feed on one of your 2mm. Bring your wire through the center and up over. Feed on another 2mm bead. Make sure that stays on top. Keep your wire snug. Bring it through the middle again. You want them snug so you don't lose your little 2mm around the side. You want to make sure they're staying on top. Bring this guy around your 4mm bead. And now we're going to tie off our ends. I usually go about 3 times around. I'm doing this with my fingers, or I'm able to do this with my fingers with the gold fill because it's so nice and soft. But when you get towards the end, you're going to have to use your tools to guide it. Kind of push and pull the wire. Try not to mark it up. Alright, before I snip that, I'm going to do this side. Go once. Oh, that's not tight enough. Time to use the pliers. Okay. Come through and try to tighten them up. Now we can come through, and I snip them at an angle. And I haven't had them get snaggy once I press them down. And then I slip it back on the mandrel. There it is, a size 9. And then I come through with a rawhide mallet. Give it some gentle taps. And I do flip it around. If you do feel a snag, you can come through and try to snip it a little shorter. That's better. Mine was coming up a little far up the side. That's better. All right, and there's a gold fill. The next ones I'll do quick. I'll do 11 inches again. This helps fill my tray as well, and I'll show you that in a second. Here's a navy pearl. This is really cute. Get that in the center. Get some silver 4mm beads on either side. Look who forgot to turn it back on. All right, so I'm mostly finished with this sterling silver one. Anyway, as I was saying, sterling silver is a lot springier than gold fill. So it's a little bit tougher to work with. You just gotta be careful not to pull everything out of shape. Get this guy on the mandrel, see where we're at. Shove it down to a size 7. Feel around for snags. Okay, that's better. Next, I'm gonna make this one last ring. I'm gonna make a 6.5 in copper. Since it's a little smaller, I'm just gonna do 10 inches. And I don't know if I mentioned it. I don't straighten it out totally. I kind of leave the curve in my wire if there happens to be one. I'm gonna use hemetite. All right, and then 6.5. Once you're at that point, you can slip it off the mandrel. I think copper is a little bit easier to work with than the sterling. Bring your 2mm down and feed your wire through. And snug it up. Another reason I have a lower price point for the copper is, I don't know if you can see this, but my copper beads have seams in them. These are seamless. All my others are seamless, but the copper is not. I found that copper beads of varying shapes or varying size were hard to find, so I bought these at Ball Chain. But if you have another supplier, let me know that has seamless. Oh geez, I dented it, but yeah, I do recommend going seamless. See, my bead is trying to escape. Get that back on top, then wrap it around to stop it. Okay, so then we tie them off. I don't know, the copper seems pretty comparable to the hardness of the sterling today. Maybe just after 3 rings my fingers are tired. That on the mandrel. It's not turning out to be a 6.5. Maybe because of the dent. You can coax it down to a 6.5. Or coax it up, I should say. There you go. Right, here we are, 3 rings. Gold, silver, and copper. Actually, that's still a little dented. Hold on a second. It's a little better. Aren't they cute? See, I think they're adorable. You guys, make sure to hit that like button. Share it if you can. I think this one needs to go far. Let me show you my tray. I have a tray for $15 and up. And look at all these. They're all pretty much the same design, except for this guy. But I've got gemstones, pearls. Got some patriotic ones in here. This is one using Swarovski bicones and crystal quartz bead. Now this I made a video on. Those color combinations. Those are the bright red and blue, and here's the subtle red and blue, which I tend to like better. I've also got a $10 ring tray, which the copper will go in. And I wanted to mention as well that you could come through and oxidize these, the copper and the silver. I don't tend to oxidize or even try to oxidize gold fill. I'm not sure if it's possible. But if I do oxidize these, I do charge a few bucks more just because it's extra steps in polishing. If you don't put any marks in them, there's hardly any polishing to do. What I usually do is I do a batch and then I throw them in the tumbler, and that really shines them up nice. Alright, so that's it for me. Once again, if you like this tutorial, give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell to be notified when I put out a new video. I do it weekly. Have a great week, and I'll see you in the next one.